Well, remember Luke is from Riverside. Well, the two live crew, they originated.
Luke ain't from Riverside.
Yeah, but the two live crew
and his crew are from Riverside, California, and Luke was a genius to this day in terms of what he's doing.
Right.
But everybody has their time. You know what I'm saying? That everybody has their time to shine and be on top of things, and it's the South's time to do what it is that they do. Now, I'll tell you this. We were at Nell's restaurant one night with Russell Simmons and Fred Buggs, and we were talking about the evolution of the stuff and where it was going to evolve and go to. And I said, man, we need to go get some dudes from the South. I'm like, we don't want to get nobody from the South, man. I said, but I'm telling you, it's a huge market out there. It's a huge market. Mm-hmm. No one listened, no one heard.
It was untouched except for, the Ghetto Boys.
The Ghetto Boys.
Right.
Yeah, and look at it now. You know what I mean?
So you guys were kind of...
You gotta respect it.
So you guys kind of had the finger on the pulse early, knowing that, okay, the South was about to blow up.
Well, no, let me tell you about us. We were, not to pat ourselves on the back, we were always 6 to 8 months ahead of the game. Always. When it came to tracks, samples, all that stuff, we were always ahead of the game.
We were so ahead of the game that when we sampled, we didn't get sued.
Right.
If that makes any sense to you.
Yeah.
I get sued for the samples that we used.
There was no precedence for
it. Because it was so brand new. And being that my mother and my brother live in Houston, Texas, I was familiar with what was going on down south. You know what I'm saying? So, we were worldly, and plus when we went on tour, we went to every major city in the United States. So when you go to the city, you hear what they're listening to.
Right, and we brought it home.
And how do you guys feel about the current state of hip-hop now? Because it seems now we've gotten away from what was so nice and lovely about hip-hop during the early years and the golden era, and now it's kind of like redundant. And like when you hear real hip-hop, like Talib Kweli, Mos Def, Common, you normally hear on like underground college radio, not really on mainstream radio.
Brainwashed, in one word. If you play a record 5, 10 times every hour, of course you're going to get, it's going to grow on you. But some of that stuff is really, no disrespect to any artist out there, but by all means, I love hip-hop and I love everybody that does hip-hop. But, some of that stuff is not good. It's not creative. The creativity was lost in the game a few years back. And they, you got let me give you a better example. Sampling. Back when we sampled, back in the 80s, there was a bevy of music that you could sample from. Now the people, they sample so much and they left the creativity out of it. There's no original music anymore. Now people 20 years from now, 15 years from now, are not going to have anything to sample because the people now have not made anything.
Right. I agree. And then the one thing I missed too from that period, it was like around the 80s and 90s, remixes were like bananas. You had maxi singles and you had like different remix versions, dub versions, acapella, 7-inch, whatever other mix you want to call it. It just seems like you can do so much more with an original track and like do like different remixes and various things of that nature. And hopefully, a lot of the younger kids of the generation now and beyond will go back and listen to the Big and Deffa albums, the MC Light stuff, De La Souls, and Big Daddy Kane's, and be like, man, they really did good, and hopefully it will inspire them to create something new and bring something different to the game instead of just, being generic and being one and the same. So what are you guys up to nowadays, and do you think that we will ever return to that essence of hip-hop like it was back during this early period?
It has to be. We have to. If we don't, the game's going to die. It's going to take the older hip-hoppers, the older generation of hip-hoppers to bring the game back because the youngsters don't know what to bring back. So we're going to have to create a new foundation.
Yeah, it's like people say you're from the old school. I don't say that. I say that I went to school. You know what I'm saying?
School of hard knocks.
And you never stop learning. What I'm involved in right now, I work with a comedian actor named Faison Love. Everybody know Big Worm from the movie Fridays.
Right.
You know, he started a multimedia company, and he chose me as one of his team members. So, you know, we getting down over there on the music side of things, you know, acquiring content for film and television and all of that kind of stuff as well. And, you know, there has been talk, rumored that this new LA Posse International thing has been bubbling somewhere in some studio. These LA Posse dudes is doing records again. I don't really know too much about it, man, but word on the street that the LA Posse dudes done put together like the King Keys, the Lady of Rages, and the Hill and Owl Scratches,
and the Houdinis, and the Monifas, and the Nona Gays.
All of these people that are actually artists, but, you know, they haven't done anything because people think that they can't. Man, these dudes are artists. This is what they do, and they're doing it again.
Right. Yeah. So you definitely So you definitely heard that word from, like, you know, Huggy Bear from, like, down the street over there by Frankie the Numbers Runner.
Yep. It was on the DL, but it's bubbling. It's bubbling for sure.
Right.
I saw it on the Goodyear blimp the other day.
Yeah, no doubt. They flashed it a little bit.
International. What's that about?
Right. And I definitely feel like coming from somebody that was, like, young, growing up in that era, like, vaguely remember stuff, like Rap City and stuff, I really have a true appreciation for that stuff. And I'm only 22, so, you know, I know my roots.
Hey, yeah, and you did your homework.
I have to tip my hat to you, my brother. You are you are the diamond in the rough.
No doubt.
And it's going to be up to you to help educate the youth in terms of their history, because it hasn't been documented properly and the stories have not been told accurately in some cases. And our story is going to be told and put on the big screen so that there's an educational, you know, lesson taught out of it. You know, it's an American story that's based on loyalty between two friends who didn't let, you know, the evil clutches of the industry separate them and, you know, have them feuding with each other, you know, even at this day and age.
Right.
It was never stronger than our bond.
Right.
And that's what I'm saying.
Right, and that's definitely good to hear, because we all know how the business can be with raw deals and groupies, people coming in your ear saying this, that, and the third, and then to still stay together after all these years. You know, it's definitely, you know, a compliment, a testament to you guys and the values, the morals that you guys been raised with, and to remember, like, hey, let's keep our friendship over the business and not let the business change us.